Aloha, everyone, in another level living land. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Freedom Fridays. So happy that you're here because we are in store for an amazing treat. We have an awesome special guest who's going to be sharing with us about the hidden growth lever, why partnerships beat post every time. And first, before I introduce her, I want to let you know what is the purpose of this show. The purpose of the Freedom Friday show is to support you as an entrepreneur in achieving your success in business and life harmony and prosperity so that you can increase your confidence, your calm, your cash flow, so that you can create peace on all sides of life and really be able to bring more ideal clients into your business, charge what your value is, and create that own your own time, money, and emotional freedom to be more present with yourself and loved ones. How many of you want more of that? Yes, yes. Yay. All right. So I want you to give our special guest, Traci Griffin, a warm, another level living welcome. Traci, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you, Dr. Heather. So happy to be here today.
Yay! Yay. I can't wait to hear about this amazing topic. But first, let them know who you are. Okay. So, Traci Griffin is the founder of Achieve Greatness Daily and Elevate 50 Plus. Over her career, she's helped build a nine-figure business and led multiple scrappy startup projects and entrepreneurial joint ventures, giving her a rare blend of a big stage strategy and real world boots on the ground execution. She is known for turning raw ideas into sustainable businesses through clarity, sales, and data driven strategies. I love that, Traci. Yes. After facing breast cancer and a sudden job loss, Traci turned adversity into purpose and she created the Thrive Clarity Method to help women in midlife build confidence and direction and launch Elevate 50 Plus, a community helping founders who serve midlife women grow smarter with partnerships and strategy. Oh, I love this. And today she speaks and teaches on visibility, collaboration, and growth strategy, showing entrepreneurs how to scale without burnout. Known for her warm yet highly strategic style, well, she totally is. Like, I feel the aloha from her. We knew it right away. She blends stories, systems, and actionable tools to help audiences create lasting success in both business and life. Oh my goodness, Traci, I love reading your bio. This is something that we in entrepreneurship, we're called to be connected and right. And there's a power in collaboration and working together. It actually makes a bigger impact and bigger influence. So I'm so happy that you're here sharing this wisdom today. Can you first share with us why is this topic something that's so important?
Thank you so much for having me again. Love what you're doing here. And the topic is really important because I think sometimes we feel like we have to go it alone. And by going it alone, we have to make our own mistakes. We have to learn from our own lessons. And everything seems to be so much harder. And I really learned through all of my business and strategy and being in those startups how powerful partnerships were because without those partnerships, you cannot grow at the levels you want to grow as quickly. And then also through my own journey with breast cancer and my job loss, through that, I really learned the value of community again and how important it was not to walk it alone. Myself and many other people that I know of, we keep things to ourselves a lot and we don't let the world in. And what I was finding with my businesses and being in the corporate world for so long is that a lot of my community and a lot of my relationships, they weren't as strong or as many as they once were because I was so focused on where I was. And when I found myself having to start over, I realized that, things had to be different. I couldn't do a startup the same way in my 30s or my 40s that I did. in my 50s. It needed to be different because I didn't want to spend 80, 100-hour weeks for years upon my life. And things were changed. And the only way I could see doing that was doing that with others. And also, by doing that with others, there's something more. Do you grow quicker? Do you scale quicker? Do you learn quicker? Yes, all of that. But what you get back, that love, that support, that connection, you can't buy that.
My goodness, this is so good. I really appreciate you sharing that because you highlighted several things. One, we tend to want to operate in isolation, right? But we're called for connection. And it can be sometimes scary being able to strengthen, create these partnerships and these relationships and these connections. And sometimes we can seem so focused on what we're doing that we miss these beautiful opportunities, but what you shared is that this allows us to work smarter, right? To have much more expanded connections and expanded views and expanded synergy, and even sharing our message. It was something that you had mentioned about like as we're growing in business, as you were going to a different level, you had to do things differently, right? Like, or you got to do things differently, more smarter, having these partnerships and leveraging. And I love that you're mentioning this because this is what I really feel is really the path to the most amazing entrepreneurial success and freedom, because there's so many beautiful deep level relationships that are created. um Okay, so now, so you, yes, we've gotten the motivation of why this is something that's so important. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, what tips and strategies do you have? Like, what can we do about this? Like, what wisdom do you have on how people can go from that silo of their solopreneurship to really expanding and leveraging this hidden growth lever? What can you share with us on this today?
Yeah, I think the first part is figuring out where you are or where your ideal client is in their journey and where do you want to meet them. Because we can meet our ideal client before they get to us, while they're working with us, and after. Those are all great places for partnerships, but you really don't want that woman. She's different in each stage. So you really need to pick where do you want to get partnerships and collaborations and focus on one of those areas, not all three, because if you do all three, you're just adding more work because you're going to have three different offers and three different types of collaborations. But for instance, if you think of all of the companies and all of the types of businesses who have your ideal client right before she gets you, those are perfect partnerships. And so that's where I'd start. And then you really need to identify who is the ideal partner, right? Because you can have bad partners and you have good partners, bad marriages and good marriages, right? And you can avoid those bad ones with just a few simple things of checking beforehand. Make sure that they're aligned with your vision and your mission. Make sure that you're not competing as far as what they're offering, or that you're not saying the complete opposite, right, of what they may be saying. So you really want to make sure that that alignment is there. And then also the alignment in your products, that it's a natural next step when they're working with that partner to work with you. It makes it really easy for that partner to be able to refer you and to collaborate. And then you also want to make sure that it's easy for them to say yes, because we've all been approached with type of partnerships and collaborations that are very in depth, very involved, and they may be confusing to us and to our audience. So making sure that it's easy to say yes. I often teach the clients that I work with about I call the reverse pitch. And the reverse pitch is just creating like a one-page lead magnet, something that's very impactful, but something that I can give away to a partner. There's no opt in, There's nothing there. There's my branding, a little bit of branding so they know who I am, but it's a gift to give to somebody so that if I gave you this, you could easily say, yes, my audience needs this now. This is amazing, and I'm going to share it. It's one page, it's simple. They share it. And by doing that, you're really opening the doors because then they get feedback from their audience about how much they loved it. And now they want to do a true partnership with you, a true collaboration.
This sounds like, breath of fresh air, right? This is so great because you mentioned several things that I've just wanted to highlight. The first one was I love that you talked about alignment, right? And making sure that it is that beautiful harmony because the aligned partnerships are what create that beautiful fruit, like that win-win for everyone, that abundance. I'm just imagining like a big old like fruit orchard of all these abundant trees just giving so much more fruit to everyone else. And then that part about alignment is something that's so important. And one of the things that as you were talking, I was thinking about another level living and how we talk about that alignment inside. Like you just know, like owning your knowing this is the right person to be able to connect with. It actually makes that alignment even better, right? Like so I love that we're highlighting that. And then this part about really this what you're making it sound like is something that is simple. Sometimes people think that partnerships have to be hard. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
It does, and it doesn't. I
Tell
suggest
me.
starting simple. If we start simple to begin with, then we can build into hard, right? Hard means a lot of follow-up, a lot of follow through, and you don't want to necessarily start your partnerships and collaborations that way because somebody usually drops the ball, whether it's going to be yourself or whether it's going to be the partner. You want a little bit more relationship so that
Yeah.
you know how to handle those things and so that you could do it with tact and not have things fall down.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And I love the part where you also mentioned of having something to be able to give them, to, like a gift to be able to give them. So they even know a little bit more about you. It's that law of reciprocity. The more that we're able to give, the more and allow the reception. And I feel like the ideal partnerships are this beautiful ebb and flow, like you discussed. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
definitely. And Heather, the other part of it is that, for so many of us, asking for the sale or asking for what we want is a challenge. And it often comes across not the most pleasant, right? We've all been on the other end of where we've been like, oh, like I no, I'm not interested. Like I don't even know who you are, and you're trying to kiss me already. It's like no. So by giving first, you're able to give and show who you are and what you're about. And it's so much easier to give first than to ask. And people are much more willing to give back to you if they've received first. Like you said, the law of reciprocity. And also, Pareto's law is working here too. It's at 80
What's that?
20. So we're doing 20% of the work and getting 80% of the results, which is so important with our businesses. So, for instance, with social media, we can be posting, 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 right? And we're trying to get engagement, we're trying to get the likes, we're trying to get people to share. But how much time do we spend each week creating those posts, thinking them up, then going out engaging? It can be hours and hours for such a little bit of return. Now, I understand there's so much of it we do have to do, right? But being able to manage that and not go overboard and instead take just a couple hours a week to work on partnerships and collaboration. That's where we get it. If you have an audience that doubles my audience and you share it with your audience, I just hit twice the amount in such little effort. It's so much easier for me to talk to you and create a collaboration and a partnership than it is to do months of social media posting.
Oh my goodness, that's so good. That's so good. And I love how you mentioned the 80-20 rule in this. And yes, it's like is specifically when we talk about less effort, more impact,
Mhm.
deeper connection, like
It gives
all
it
in one.
all. It gives it all. And it makes us feel so good afterwards. Now,
Yes.
then we have somebody else to say, when something's going wrong in our business, or maybe something's confusing, we're not really sure. Now we have somebody else that we can actually call up the phone and say, "Hey, have you experienced this? What are your thoughts?" And brainstorm that out. We're not alone. It goes so much beyond just the one collaboration or the one partnership. It really should.
Well, I got a question for you. Because
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you've given us gold, right? I see, I feel like the heavens are like, oh, this is it, right?
Love it.
What do you think is the one thing that usually gets in the way of entrepreneurs like taking action to create these deep level partnerships? Like, what's the
I
common challenge?
Yeah, I think for the most part, they, like you had said, they overcomplicate it, right?
Okay.
I need to have it all figured out before I approach you. And that's not necessarily the way we have to do it. Now, do I have a couple ideas in mind that we might be able to partner with first when I approach somebody? Of course, because I want to make sure we're aligned. I want to make sure that the values are there and all of that. And so ideas come up, but they're ideas. It really should be something, a collaboration is something where, we talk and we discuss and we say, okay, this is an idea. Now, how can we really make it work for both of us? My idea is one small part of it. And normally, my idea, although I think they're all brilliant, right? They're not nearly as good as when I start collaborating with others and somebody else gives me their input, and then I get somebody else's input. By doing partnerships, we can do that. And we just need to simplify it, and we just need to do it. We just need to take that step. And also, I think people don't realize the power of it. They're thinking, that's just one more thing I've got to do. I've got this list of things,
Oh my goodness.
and I've got my social media and I've got this, and it goes on at the end of the list. And instead, if we'd really look at our list and say, what is the one thing today that will move my business the furthest? What is the one thing I could do today that will allow me to have the most impact? And as soon as I say what's going to allow me to have the most impact, it's got to be partners. I've got to be collaborating with people because I cannot make the most impact by myself.
Correct. Oh my goodness, Tracy, that's like a mic drop moment. Thank you so much for sharing that. It is those are so if you find yourself struggling with these things that Tracy just mentioned, it is so important to be able to reach out to her so she can be able to support you in this. Tracy, how can we continue this conversation with you further? Do you have like a free gift or something that
I
we can
do.
be able to give our audience
I
today?
I do, Dr. Heather. So I have a free gift that I'd love to give that actually one of the things is about partnerships. And it's the three overlooked ways to reach midlife women and gain recurring revenue fast. And so you can get that by going to elevate50.online/ three overlooked ways. All one word, the three overlooked ways. There's no dashes, nothing.
Okay, we will
And
be putting that link in the show notes. So click on the link at the bottom of this video so you can get that amazing special gift, Tracy. Thank you so much for sharing that. Oh, I know that this conversation was so yummy of the possibilities of partnerships. So just imagine staying connected with Tracy and all the even more yumminess that you're gonna get. So Tracy, last question for you. Based on everything that you shared with us, what would be the biggest takeaway that you'd want to leave us with today?
we are better together. There's just no other way to
Oh,
do it. We're better together.
oh, I love that. I love that. Thank you so much, Tracy, for blessing us with your wisdom. This has been incredible, incredible for everyone, including me. I mean, so excited. And for everyone who's listening out there in another level living land, let this message marinate into your mind, body, heart, and soul. Get this part that you are worthy and valuable. And so you can be able to have these beautiful aligned partnerships that allow your business and your life to go to another level. We also want to hear your wisdom too. So if you were inspired by this message, which I know that you were, go ahead and put your biggest takeaway in the comments below. We look forward to seeing you again soon for another episode of Freedom Fridays. Have a wonderful day. Bye, everyone.